If you are someone who is always trying to lose weight and maybe you place a lot of emphasis on the scale, weighing yourself, and that is kind of like the main way you measure progress and the only way you think you can measure progress, this video is for you. And this video found you for a reason because I'm going to send you lots of love right now, but I'm going to call you out on this a little bit because I was just having a really, really good conversation actually with one of my new clients. And she asked me this very question. She asked me, what do you think about weighing myself? How often should I weigh myself? Like, this is the only way I feel like I can measure my progress is when I know numbers, when I know how much I weigh or how much I'm losing, or even if I can measure my body parts. And this is what I told her. It is really, really valid to have this question. Okay. So I'm not judging anyone because for a really long time, weighing myself was a normal, literal, everyday thing. And now it's probably been over 4 years that I haven't weighed myself. I do not own a scale, and I'm going to tell you why. We have been so conditioned to believe, especially as women, that we need to weigh ourselves consistently in order to measure progress, in order to make sure changes are happening in our body, in order to make sure we're getting somewhere with our workout routine, with our nourishment, with, all the things that we might be doing for our health, for our wellness. And here's the reality of it. When we play, just trying to record a YouTube video, but it's fine. How was your walk today?
The walk was marvelous.
Marvelous?
Marvelous.
That's good. All right, back to where we were. So when we place all of the emphasis on the number on the scale, we get really, really fixated on this arbitrary number that actually at the end of the day doesn't mean anything. And here's what I told my client and what I want you to reflect on if you feel like the scale is consuming you or the only way that you can measure progress. Let's say you had a really great week, okay? You've been nourishing your body, you've been eating breakfast, you've been getting in some workouts, you've been getting outside for movement, you've been feeling more energized, you have implemented a really great journaling ritual, let's say, before bed. Okay, so we're kind of checking all the boxes here. You're looking at your nourishment in a really healthy way, you are getting into movement, you're focusing on some self-care with the journaling, and overall you feel like you had a really good week and you're proud of yourself. You're celebrating, which we love. We love to celebrate. Just finding that balance in life. That's what it's all about. We're not going to extremes, we're not beating ourselves up, and we're finding a routine that fits into a lifestyle that we genuinely love. This is what I teach my clients. This is the approach that I take, okay? This is always going to be the most enjoyable one and the most sustainable one. Now, let's say after celebrating that, after going over how great your week was, you get on that scale and let's say either the number doesn't change, maybe the number even goes up. Now you probably feel defeated, disappointed, like you failed in some way, and everything that you just celebrated that actually matters, by the way, has gone out the window because this random number on a piece of plastic did not go the way that you wanted it to go. So when you put it like that, it kind of just doesn't really make sense, right? So that's one side of the coin. The other thing that I always like to mention is that our weight, especially as women, once again, fluctuates so regularly because of so many different factors that could be going on. We could be really stressed out. We could have had a not so good sleep. We could be holding on to a little bit of poop. We could be a little bit dehydrated. We could have had a big carb heavy meal the night before. We could have had a smaller meal the night before. We could be, overthinking about something, causing a little bit of stress to accumulate in the body. There are so many different reasons. We could be on our period. We could be close to our period. We could be just ending our period. Like, the list goes on, okay? It's a freaking laundry list of why our weight can fluctuate. And this is exactly why I really believe that putting so much emphasis and importance and significance around this number really does more harm than good because it doesn't give us an accurate depiction of what's actually going on in your lifestyle. Because again, when you look at that week that you just had, you've been moving, you've been nourishing, you've been prioritizing yourself and doing all the things that you really enjoy and that make you feel good and that make you feel overall like you're living a balanced, healthy, nutrient dense lifestyle. Once again, that's what matters, not the number on the scale. So, when we paint the picture like that, coming back to why do we feel like that is the only way we can measure progress? Well, diet culture is one of them. We've been so heavily taught and conditioned that the number on the scale, how much we weigh, the size of our clothes, the size of our waist, all these like little random numbers, that's how we've kind of been taught to measure health. And if you've ever, heard of the BMI scale or any of those kind of like random calculators, you might also know that those are also bullshit because they don't actually accurately calculate a person's health or lifestyle factors or genetics. Everyone is so different when it comes to weight distribution and muscle mass and just overall lifestyle factors. Okay, so throwing out these random numbers has never been helpful for the general public, especially for women, where we fluctuate. Hello, our bodies are always changing. The last point that I want to make as well is now that we see how just stupid the weight is, the scale is, the numbers are, they don't help us. If anything, they make us feel worse, which, like, why are we doing that to ourselves? Now it's time to find ways to measure progress that actually make sense for us. And this is what I'm so excited about sharing with my clients. And this is what I kind of went over in this conversation with my client that we were talking about this, is just sharing all of the different ways that you can actually measure progress that make sense, that make you feel good, that uplift you, that get you excited about your health journey, no matter what your goals might be. Okay, so taking the emphasis off the numbers, off the scale, all those things, throwing out the scale. Actually, if you can smash your scale, highly recommend. Super fun. Throw it in the trash, do it. Looking at variables such as, has my energy improved? Am I sleeping better? Am I stronger in my workouts? Do I have more endurance when I go for walks or runs or hikes? Am I more consistent with my nourishment? Am I enjoying my meals? Am I overall happier in my lifestyle? Am I prioritizing things that make me feel really good? Am I finding a good balance with everything that I'm doing? Am I able to still say yes to events or friends while still feeling really good about my choices? Do I feel more connected to myself? Do I feel like I have more time for things that I actually love? The list goes on. There are so many. There are so many ways to measure progress. And do you see how all of these questions actually allow you to answer in a way that is meaningful, thoughtful, deep, and connected to yourself? Because if you answered no to all those things, or like, oh no, I'm actually not enjoying things, I'm not being consistent, I'm feeling stressed out, I don't have more energy, maybe, just maybe, you actually aren't nourishing enough. Maybe you aren't getting enough sunshine. Maybe you aren't prioritizing sleep. All these things that should be looked at before you start freaking out and eating even less and working out even more and hopping on that scale and trying to be a smaller number, because that's not always the answer. And actually, for most women, it's not the answer. Less food, more training, and trying to be more extreme with anything is never the answer. We're going to mess up our hormones, our metabolism, our menstrual cycles, our gut, our mental health. It's no bueno. So, hopefully, that paints a good picture of why the scale is a bunch of trash, why we should throw the scale out forever. Just like, why? Why are we doing that to ourselves? Why does it matter? And when you think about it too, like when you get to the age of 50, 60, 80, 70, weird way to word that, but you know what I mean? If we're lucky enough to get to that age, do you think you're really going to look back and be like, oh yeah, on July 6th, 2024, I weighed XYZ number? Yeah. No. You will not. You will not, because the number literally doesn't matter. It literally doesn't matter. The number on the scale doesn't matter. The size of your clothing doesn't matter. That's also bullshit, which we know. And also, no one cares. No one cares what you weigh. Do you know what people do care about? People who matter in your life care about if you're happy, if you're healthy. People just want you to be happy, okay? No one cares how small you are. No one cares how much weight you're losing. No one cares what the number on the scale is. No best friend of yours is going up to you and being like, Stacy, how much do you weigh this week? No. 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 No, 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 no. God, I hope not at least. If that's what your friend is asking you, Stacy, you unfriend her quick and hard. Let's recap. The number on the scale doesn't matter. Literally no numbers matter actually when it comes to health, your happiness, overall quality of life. It just doesn't. And I'm so glad that I can share that with you. So let me know your experience with this in the comments. Thanks for tuning in. And let's just get back to living, right? Like living, like enjoying life, finding that balance. We're not going to extremes. We're healthy, we're strong, we can function optimally. Our body is, thriving because we're nourishing it. We're getting outside, we're getting sunlight, we're getting sleep. That's it. Okay, bye.